So in this video, I'll show you how to automate 99% of your content creation so that you don't have to worry about what am I gonna post today, how much time will it take me to do the research for the post, create the text, create the photos. It's a bit time consuming, okay? And by the way, if you like content like this, then subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna be coming out with a lot of very good stuff on AI automation systems that will just accelerate your growth in anything that you do. So with that being said, let's just dive in the video. Cool. So first thing that you need to do is you need to use this Pro Research Assistant. You're gonna have a link down in the description, and you can start with a hi. And let's say that you want to research on taxes in 2024. Cool. And then it says to narrow it down, which of these subcategories are you most interested in? Let's say I'm interested in number 2. And by the way, over here, it says you can choose one, a combination of these categories, or specify another subcategory related to taxes in 2024, okay? And then what it does is it searches on Reddit, because Reddit is the main platform that people have discussions, and like it's basically one of the biggest forums. And it gives you the top 10 subreddits related to business taxes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's say you go to r/tax. Cool, and as you can see over here, there is a lot of discussion on the subject of taxes and different things, okay? And you can also find specific news articles like this one on taxes. So what I would suggest you do is 2 things. Either you go on a subreddit like this and then you find news articles, specific news articles, or you can just Google search and find some article regarding taxes, okay? So after you have found the article, let's say that we want to continue with this article. So next step is to go to make.com, and then you have to create a specific automation. And we're going to build it out together step by step. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to find Google Sheets, and then click on this one that says Watch New Rows. And then you can search it by path, or you can enter it manually. And if you enter it manually, you need to enter the exact ID, which is basically this one. Like after the slash and before the slash, then copy it, we'll take it, paste it here. Cool. Then the sheet name is sheet 1, paste it here. Table contains headers, yes, so it does contain headers, which are these 2 header columns, and then the limit you need to set it to 1. Fantastic. Okay, cool. And then we need to take this URL over here at USA Today, we copy it and we paste it over here. Then we go back to make, we run this module only, and under the section output over here we find the URL, which is fantastic. So the trigger works. Okay, cool. So the next thing that you need to do is you need to add perplexity. Okay, and then you need to click on create a chat completion. Now perplexity is an AI model that can access the web and can give you very accurate information. It actually gives more accurate information than ChatGPT when you drop a link, and I can demonstrate it here. We take this link and then we drop it here and we say summarize this article. And we can do the same with ChatGPT 4.0, which is the latest model. Summarize this article. And as you can see here, for example, the article refers to a $14,729 tax bill, and Perplexity has it exactly right. ChatGPT says 15,000, which is not like a big deal in this case, but I have tested it, and Perplexity is way better than the latest model of ChatGPT when it comes to analyzing URLs, when you give it URLs. Okay, so we're gonna go with Perplexity. And for my make.com account, I had already added Perplexity, but if it's the first time that you're adding Perplexity to make.com, then it's gonna ask you about something that's called API key. So what you need to do is you need to access your Perplexity account at perplexity.ai, and then you need to go down here to this little settings icon. You need to click it, and then you need to find over here that says API and click on API, and then you need to purchase some credits. You can purchase like $5, you can purchase like $10. It's very cheap, and you will find your API key over here. Actually, you will not have any API keys in the beginning, so you need to generate an API key and then copy it. And then you take the API key and you drop it over here at make.com, and then you will see this. All right, so now for the model, you can just leave it at Llama 3. You have different models over here, but this works very well. And for the role, you need to choose user. And then for content, you just need to say summarize this article. Make sure you provide the key points. And then you need to click on URL A over here, which basically whatever corresponds to the URL of the news article. You just click on this little button. Fantastic. And then you click on OK. All right, so now very important. I could go ahead and start creating content based on the article and based on the summary of the article. But what I would suggest is for the beginning, until you feel good with the automation and with the outputs of the automation, what you need to do, you can check the quality of the output of the automation before you set it live and before you start creating content, or before the automation starts creating content on the various social media. How you do that is you go over here to this plus sign, and then you go to Google Docs, and then you click on create a document. So you can name the document however you want. For example, I can name it row. You can click over here at Google Sheets for row number. In this case, it would be row 2 content idea. And then basically what you want to do is you want the automation to take the summary that we just created with Perplexity and drop the summary in the Google document. So you would do that with going over here at choices, then methods, then content. I don't have something right now because I haven't run the automation. So now you need to set the exact document location, and I have created the exact path in my Google Drive on where I want the document to be saved. Then I click on OK, and then I will save it. And now I want to run the automation again, but because the trigger is what's new rows and I don't have any new rows, I need to create one more row now. So I would go to, I would take this URL again, go back here, drop it again, and go back to make.com. And then I will just run it once again. Fantastic. So we have different outputs over here. Let me just go and check the exact output. So we have the summary of the article over here, and it works well. So next step would be my suggestion if you use Slack, Discord, or you can even set it up on email. But what I would do is, for example, I would go to Discord because I use Discord. Then I would click on send a message. Then I would specify the channel ID, and it would be the same, the exact same if you use Slack or whatever else. Basically, what you want to do here is you want to receive a notification to go and check this document if it's fine to be published as a piece of content. Okay, so I would click over here at just me, and then I would just say new piece of content out, check it out within the next 5 minutes. Then next, after Discord, I would check for sleep, which basically what it does is it says the number of seconds for which the scenario execution will be suspended. Okay, and maximum we have 300 seconds. I would set the delay over here for 300 seconds, just so you have enough time to check the document and to see that everything is fine. Because after this step, if you approve the document, it's going to go ahead and generate the different social media posts and stuff like that. Okay, and if you don't approve of it, then it's not going to generate anything. Okay, so you need to check it within 5 minutes. Or what you can do is you can continue putting more and more sleep modules over here, but yeah, if you need that, you can do it, but let's just keep it simple for now. Okay, so now next step over here, we search again for Google Sheets. You search for cell, so you click on get a cell, and it says get a specific cell, and again I can enter it manually. So we go back to Google Sheets, we take the ID over here, the Google Sheet ID, copy, paste it. You take the sheet name over here, copy, you paste it here. Fantastic. The cell, you need to get a specific cell. Okay, so the cell that we're gonna check is B, and then you go back to the first step, which is the Google Sheet step, and you click on row number. Now, why do we do this? So the reason that we do this is because you need to approve of that specific article summary that Perplexity created in order for it to be distributed on the different social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc., etc. Okay, so what you would do is you'd click on OK over here, and when you receive the message in the Discord channel or in your Slack channel or even in your email, you need to go ahead and check very fast if you're satisfied with the article summary, and if you are, within these 5 minutes, within the sleep phase of the automation, then you need to go over here, and next to the article you need to write okay. So why do we do that? Because next step is the router, which basically what the router does is it distributes and it branches out the different functions that will happen from now on. Okay, so the router will start creating the content, or will branch out the content to be created, but we're gonna set a parameter over here. We're gonna set up a filter, we label it approved, and then we say over here that the value that we got from the last step, which is this one, we basically got this specific cell. Okay, so we set the value of the cell equals to okay. So if the value of the cell equals to okay, then it continues and the router branches out the automation. If it's not equal to okay, then it will not continue the automation again. And this is why it's super important that when the automation sleeps, then you check the content, you make sure that it's fine, and then you approve of it, and it continues. Okay, I would suggest that you do that in the beginning just to make sure that the outputs are fine and you're satisfied with it. And then you can delete the steps from basically from Perplexity up to the router. Okay, and then you can have just from Perplexity straight connecting to the router. Cool. So now next step, we go over here, you click on this plus sign, and you find ChatGPT. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna create the post for Facebook as a first thing. So you click over here on create a completion, then you select the model, which I would suggest ChatGPT 4.0. Then you go over here at add message, you select the role, and the role will be a user. And for the message content, you just paste the specific prompt, and it says you're a pro content creator, your purpose is to post a very engaging post on Facebook. Start the post with an attention-grabbing headline. The headline could be a question too. Include the main points of the article below. End off with a relevant statement or a relevant engaging question. Include relevant hashtags. Fantastic. So now over here after this, then you would go back to Perplexity. You would go to choices, message, content, and you leave it like that. And then max tokens, you just say 0. Can you click on OK? Perfect. So next thing, and this is where it kind of gets very exciting for me, is again you search for ChatGPT and then you click on generate an image. You choose the DAL E3 model, and then for the prompt, I would suggest you write this. Okay, create a textless, no text in the image, creative, relevant to this post. And the reason that I want to create a textless post is because ChatGPT currently makes mistakes with text, and it has a lot of typos and a lot of gibberish stuff. Okay, so what I would suggest is create a textless photo for now. When it becomes very efficient with text and it can generate images with fantastic text, no typos and stuff like that, then you can change the prompt. Okay, so over here, what you would do is, so the last switch over here, which is the 9th step, you would go to choices, message, and that would be add content. Okay, so I don't have something now because I haven't run it yet, but let me just set it up and then I will run it. So next step, what I would suggest for the first times that you're gonna run this automation, just for you to be able to quality check the different outputs, the image that it creates, the post that it creates and stuff like that, then again, I would suggest that you create a Google document and you get the automation to input the post and the image in that document. And for the first times, I would suggest that you quality check it and then you post it manually. When you're confident in the automation, when you're confident in the workflow, then you can remove this step and you can have the automation just straight post things for you on Facebook, Instagram, etc. But for the beginning, I would suggest you do this with Google Docs again. So you click on Google Docs, then you click on create a document, and then you can name the document however you want. You can say cool document, and then for the content, you just say text, and then you go back to the second to last output, and then you go to choices, message, content. You say creative, and you go over here, data, URL. Cool. I don't have something right now because I haven't run it yet, but I'm just gonna test it in just a bit, okay? All right, and then let's just go ahead, we save it, and then let's run it once. But before I run it, if I click on run once right now, it's not gonna run because again, the trigger is what's new rows. So I need to take the URL over here, copy, paste it here, and I'll write OK over here just so it's approved. And one more thing that I will change in the testing phase is the sleep delay, because otherwise I'll need to wait here for 5 minutes until it's tested. So I'll just say 1 second over here. OK. And run once. Fantastic. So we're done with testing. Let's see how it did. Okay, it created the cool document. So we click on that and look at that text. Is the Supreme Court's ruling on foreign income tax a game changer for US shareholders? Blah, 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 blah. This is going to be the text. And then we have the creative over here. And look at that. Oh man. Okay, fine. I told it to create a textless creative and it didn't. Okay, ChatGPT is not perfect right now in creating creatives, but yeah, I mean the picture is relevant and it's nice. Okay, it can be used. Cool. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to go back to make, come back here, clone this and connect it here to delete this module. And the only thing that we would change here is your pro content creator, your purpose is to post a very engaging post on Instagram. For the rest, you just leave it like that. Okay. Then the next one is your pro content creator, your purpose is to post a very engaging post on X, formerly Twitter. So what I would change here is start a post with an attention grabbing headline or get straight to the point, because it's X, you have a very limited amount of characters that you can use. Keep the post below 280 characters. No, I will just delete this because it's just Twitter. I just want to reserve as much space as I can. Tokens is going to be 0. And then we go to the last one, which is for LinkedIn. So the only thing that you change here is LinkedIn. Keep it under 1500 characters. Cool. So next thing that we need to do is we need to come here to the daily step, then clone it, and then attach it to the Instagram post creation. And then the only thing that we need to change is keep it square 1080 times 1080 pixels. Cool. Then we click on OK. And I'm not going to do it here, but if you wanted to quality check it, then what you would do here is you would click on this little plus sign over here. And then you would again create a Google document exactly where you want it in your Google Drive and stuff like that. Okay, same thing with LinkedIn, so it would be exactly the same. The only difference with LinkedIn would be the size of the post. So for LinkedIn, the best thing is 1200 by 627 pixels. Oh, excuse me. And there is actually one more difference. You wouldn't have these two options over here. You would have to delete it and you will need to go to choices, methods, content. And the same for Instagram. You would delete this and you need to go over here, choices, methods, content. So now for Twitter, you don't really need creatives. So the next thing would be, again, to create a Google document and put the creative over there and the text, put the text over there. And then the same for LinkedIn. Okay, and this is what you would do until you feel good with the automation and until you trust it enough to let it run. Okay, when you trust it enough to let it run, then you would delete these steps. And for the first one, you would just choose Facebook. You would click on Facebook pages, create a post. You would connect your Facebook account and then it would post the post for you. Same thing for Instagram, same thing for X, formerly Twitter, fantastic. Create a post, and same thing for LinkedIn. And you need to click on create a user image post. Okay, fantastic. So this is pretty much it. And the only thing that you need to do over here, oh, one thing I forgot, a big thing that I forgot. So you need to come over here at the trigger, the first step, and you need to click on this little watch. What this does is you need to basically set it up so that it runs the scenario at specific intervals. Okay, you can say at regular intervals, and then you can say how many minutes apart it's gonna run the scenario. Or for example, you can say once a day, days of the week, specific days of the week, or days of the month. Okay, so I would suggest, let's say once a day, every single day, it runs a scenario at, let's say 2 p.m. Okay, the only thing that you need to make sure if you want to have content that day going out is that before that time, before 2:09 every day, you need to have a new article, a new URL of an article over here, and then basically it's gonna run by itself. Okay, and the automation is complete. So basically you would have text and creatives for Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn every day. And the only thing that you need to do is you need to take a URL of an article and then just drop it at that Google Sheet. Okay, so guys, hopefully you like the video. If you like content like that, then subscribe to this channel. I'm gonna come out with a lot more content on AI, systems automation, some very nice stuff that are gonna save you a lot of time in manual work and basically just make your life easier. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video.